Maybe if I push this button. Oh, what did I do? Why is this blinking? Jeremy, for the love of heck, would you put your fidget spinner down and come help your mother with her technology? Texting me from the other room. Teenagers. What does this say? Is the light on? I'm not trying to turn on the light, Jeremy. I'm trying to turn on the microphone. Oh, I see. The light means that the mic is on. Thank you, Jeremy. You're a good egg. Smiley face. I don't know what SMH means, young man, but I'd better not find out it means something naughty. I can't keep up. Or was I now? Oh, right. I'm Brenda Butchanan. Welcome to Momcast. Ba-ba-da-ba. What is Momcast, you ask? Well, I'm still trying to figure that out. Let me tell you the story. So I was loading up my Facebook to post one of my bi-weekly book club updates, which is my duty as president. And then Jeremy comes down and says, man, nobody uses Facebook anymore. And I told him that my 12 regular likers on my updates would beg to differ. But he just rolled his eyes. So I asked him, well, what exactly are the kids into these days? And he told me podcasts. Well, he didn't tell me. He just went to his room. He's always in his room, even though it's summer vacation and a little outdoors time wouldn't kill him as long as he's wearing sunscreen. But later I heard him on the phone with his friend Jasper talking about how podcasts are the future. And then I went in and asked him what podcasts are, and he said, Ma, you can't just barge in here when I'm on the phone. And I said, 17 years ago, you barged out of my womb, so I'm pretty sure I can barge wherever I want. And then he said, Ma, what the heck, that's gross, except he didn't say heck. And I said, you watch your mouth, young man, and, well, you get the gist. And here we are, Momcast. It's sort of a play on words because this is a podcast for all the moms about the town. Momcast. I was pretty tickled with that one. So for all of you that can't or won't come to our book club meetings, looking at you, Margie, I know you haven't been doing anything since your kids graduated, and I don't know why you keep ignoring my invitations. This is your chance to vicariously experience the hottest gossip and meaningful literary discussion in the Quarry Creek housing development. So without further ado, I didn't think this far ahead. I just got so excited with the microphone and the blinky light and finally getting Jeremy off the computer, I never figured out what to talk about. I'll just start by going through the meeting minutes so I can stay on track. We started off with the traditional howdy-do, snacking on some munchies, munching on some snackies. We had this delish cheese and cracker platter from the Aldi they put in down the street. Although, let me tell you, that pepper jack was just a little too spicy for me. I am a Swiss Mrs. through and through. Then we did our icebreaker, which is always a hoot and a half with our goofy gang of gals. Today, the question was chocolate or wine, and I said, that's like making me choose a favorite child. Theoretically, of course, you know I only have my rock star Jeremy, but I assume that's what choosing a favorite child would feel like. And Helen said, if my house were burning to the ground, I have no doubt in my mind which child I'd save and which one I would let perish in the flames. And Heather said she can't have either because she's on an organic juice cleanse. And then Joanie said, I'm on a juice cleanse too. I only drink grape juice. It's wine. I'm an alcoholic. Classic Joanie. Then we get into the book. It starts out with Avery Middlebrook, your ordinary 20-something, medium-town, medium-income businesswoman. Even though she is great at her job and next in line for a promotion, she feels like her life is going to waste. She's bored. She's trapped. It's tragic being so successful in the store brand skincare product industry. Finally, her escape comes when her doctor diagnoses her with a rare form of terminal ear cancer. And you know Heather had a thing or two to say about that. She said, maybe if Avery had taken better care of herself, she wouldn't have gotten sick in the first place. And then Joanie said the cancer was a cellular anomaly and her behavior did nothing to affect it. And then Heather launched into this whole big thing about how your cells are a part of your body and your body is a part of yourself and yourself is connected to your spirit aura in the astral plane. So therefore, if you take care of your aura, your cells don't get messed up. Or something. All of Heather's crystal healing mumbo-jumbo gets lost on me sometimes, but she says she has a rigorous natural healing regimen her family does, and that neither her nor her children have ever contracted terminal ear cancer. But I'm not sure her kids are even capable of contracting anything. She always goes on about how she gave birth directly into the astral plane, so her kids skipped the pesky physical form bit and ascended directly into the purest state of being. Always the astral plane with that one. I can't quite wrap my head around it, but I'm glad she found a hobby. But if Avery Middlebrook hadn't been diagnosed with her illness, she would never have gone on the adventure of a lifetime. Instead of spending her days in a cubicle, she chose to see the world. Well, she went to Scandinavia, but Scandinavia is a part of the world, so technically she did see it. Part of it. Boy, Jeremy should really take me up on my constant offers to help him with his geography homework because I am fantastic. But he's too busy playing with his amiibos or his Minecrafts or whatever to worry about his future. Why Scandinavia, you ask? Because you didn't bother to show up for book club? Because ever since she was a little girl, she had dreamed of going Scandinavian horseback riding. And of course, I had never heard of such a thing, so it was really helpful having Helen at the meeting because her son, Abernathy, actually takes classes for Scandinavian horseback. Helen's not just a credible source, she's a mom. But I had to take notes because it was all very complicated. According to Helen, there are two sects of Scandinavian horseback riding, Swiss and Finnish. We don't talk about Norway. Abernathy goes to Swiss on Tuesdays and Finnish on Thursdays. Now, Swiss involves steering a horse across a stream, while Finnish is where the horse runs itself through a creek. Helen says that Abernathy loves Swiss because the water is cool and clear and refreshing when it splashes up onto his toes. But he can't stand Finnish because the creek water is connotatively yucky and it gets in his Crocs and it doesn't drain out because he has those little gibbet things spelling out his name, which is so long it plugs up all the holes. And then I asked her why she doesn't just make Abernathy change his shoes, and she said, you know, kids, you can't tell them what to wear. And then I said, because they won't listen, and she said, no, because they'll listen to everything you say, translate it into an attack on their own personal forms of self-expression, resign themselves to becoming the person they think you want them to become instead of the person they deep down wish to remain true to, and ultimately become miserable adults trudging through the endless cycle of the way we have silently and unenthusiastically decided the world is supposed to be. And then she added, as long as they're wearing a jacket. And then I asked her if her other child took Scandinavian horseback riding too, and she said she didn't know what I was talking about because she only has the one kid. Which is odd because I could have sworn at the last meeting she talked about her daughter, Juniper. Maybe she just meant she only has the one kid in horseback. I think I remember her saying Juniper was in ballet. Anyway, Avery Middlebrook. She's in the middle of living her horseback dream when a man approaches her on horseback and asks her to accompany him to his mansion for a night of amour and appetizers. And of course she says yes because hello, handsome foreign stranger. And it turns out that he's the president of Scandinavia. And all of us in book club are swooning over our cocktails when Joanie just had to come in and be a negative Nelly about all of it. She starts going on about how the whole situation is unrealistic because Scandinavia doesn't even have a president, and if it did, he'd be under far too much security for some random woman to just waltz into his life and immediately marry him in an extravagant horseback ceremony, only to die of tragic ear cancer-related causes shortly after a passionate honeymoon of back massages. Oh. And we all said, Joanie, just because you're in the middle of a divorce doesn't mean love isn't real. And she said, love is real. That's why I'm getting the divorce. And we said, we know divorce is hard, but you don't have to take it out on us. And she said, divorce isn't hard. Divorce is amazing. Being in a poopy marriage, that's what sucks. She didn't say poopy, but she had a few more cocktails in her than the rest of us, and I'm sure she doesn't want to be remembered in such a state. Poor thing. More than that, poor kids. Her little twin boys going through a divorce that young. They must be, 8 now? You know, if she could have just powered through for 10 more years... What do you mean I'm being problematic, Jeremy? What's problematic is... Jeez, is that the time? I forgot about dinner. I never forget about dinner. Sometimes dinner is the only thing I have to remember. It's probably too late for me to put a casserole in. Jeremy probably just ate a whole bag of chips in his bed, so I guess I'm washing the sheets in the morning. Hank, he's probably still in his lazy boy watching the Golf Channel on mute. I could go make him a sandwich. No, he can fend for himself. Although last time I left him to his own devices, all he did was dump a lock and lock of leftover cocktail weenies on a Dixie plate. They just stayed molded in that little brick-shaped weenies squished in around the corners, sauce turning firm and gelatinous in the cold. Just a brick of processed meat and burgundy paste. Didn't even heat them up. Just shoveled weenie after weenie into his mouth with a too small fork, one tumbling from his maw onto his off-white polo shirt, barbecue sauce seeping into the fibers. The stain only sets further each time it runs through the wash, a permanent reminder of a dark and isolated reality of a night long since past. Wait, did I ever tell you what book that was? Maybe we can make this a fun game. Okay, if you think you know what that book was, call me now, and if you get it right, you win. Wow, you guys are fast. Oh, no, this is just Jeremy telling me that nobody is listening to me right now because I haven't uploaded the file yet. So much for our game. You can play it on your own when you listen. Give yourself a high five and a Bath & Body Works coupon for me. That book was Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. And the theme? Love. Obviously. All right, we'll chat later. Say hi to the kids for me. Bye-bye. Jeremy, how do I turn this off? Momcast is written, voiced, and produced by Lily Indy. Follow Brenda on Twitter and Instagram at MomcastPodcast, and tune in every other Sunday on your favorite podcast platform, so long as that platform is here, where this podcast is.